Is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness a good movie? Well, stick around to find out. Yo, what is going on, you guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I literally just got back from the cinema from watching it. Also, I just want to make sure that you guys know this is not the setup that I'll be using in future videos. So if you see this and you're like, this doesn't look too good. Basically, I've got a light over there. It's, sunny outside and it's glaring through the window and I can't cover it up. And also, I've got a studio light behind me, which isn't really making much of a difference. And I've kind of just got this green screen here to just kind of level it out. But it's not really working. So if the lighting's really bad, I do apologize. But before we do get into that review, if you guys are new around the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button to not miss any type of Spider-Man content. And I know this is a Doctor Strange video, but, from time to time, we like a good other Marvel video, you know what I mean? But with that being said, let's get straight into the review. So, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Was it a good film? Yes or no? It was alright. I'm not going to give any spoilers for this section of the video, by the way. I will be leaving my spoiler section till the end. So, yeah, if you haven't watched the film, I will definitely tell you when to click off. I don't really know what to think, to be honest with you. It was an okay film. It wasn't like it was bad, but it wasn't great either. It was a film that I think really suffered from something that I think a lot of other superhero movies are suffering from now, especially after the release of Endgame, that they're trying to take on too much. And a lot of movies are being overhyped, and I think Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness was definitely one of them. I do think that No Way Home added to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness in the wrong way. In fact, I think No Way Home added to the hype of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, but it ended up not delivering. And the reason I say that is no reason of spoilers, but obviously because we had Toby and Andrew appear in No Way Home, it's not like, oh, certain characters didn't show up that, I wanted to show up in this movie. No, it was nothing to do with that. It was just to do with the fact that No Way Home came out and set the bar so high for other multiverse movies that Doctor Strange 2 just simply failed to deliver. I think this was a film that was very confused in what it wanted to be. It wanted to be a story about one thing that was very much a grounded, character-driven, emotional story, and then on the other hand, it wanted to be this multiverse movie, and the two just didn't mix together. Now, I know what you're saying, No Way Home did this perfectly, but the thing is, No Way Home dealt with the multiverse stuff on a very low level. In fact, the only characters that we saw come from the multiverse were 5 villains and 3 Spider-Men. Well, two Spider-Men. So, the No Way Home, yes, it had its exposition. Yes, it was poorly written in places in terms of how the plot cohered itself throughout the movie, but at the same time, it was a very grounded movie about Peter Parker, and that's something I felt Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness wanted to be for Stephen Strange. I felt this movie was very convoluted in its places, and this severely affected the pacing, as you can imagine. This movie is not paced very well. It jumped around way too quickly, so obviously, like I did say, the pacing was severely affected by this. But let's get on to the spoilers, because I can't really talk about the rest of the review without going into spoilers. But let's talk about the things that I did like about the movie, and that's where we have to go into spoiler territory. So if you don't want to hear spoilers about the movie and you want to go in fresh, then click off now. So obviously, the main bits of this movie that were really, really cool were the fight scenes, was the Sam Raimi classic horror stuff, and was exploration of the multiverse and getting introduced to new characters. All of this was really, really good, and the way they handled it in terms of making the new worlds different from the others was absolutely fantastic. But in the way that the story jumped around from place to place, and the way it tried to incorporate all this multiverse stuff into the large, grander story that they were trying to tell on an emotional level, just did not work at all. So we had Wanda go from, multiverse to multiverse trying to find her kids, and that was what she wanted to accomplish. And then Stephen Strange and the rest of them and the Illuminati were trying to stop her. This ended up with Wanda eventually finding out where Stephen Strange was in the multiverse due to America Chavez, and then Wanda going around and killing all the Illuminati and stuff like that. And it was trying to tell the story of Wanda losing her kids in Westview and then wanting to bring them back. And they added this really strange, I don't even know if it was a side plot or the main story, about Stephen Strange wanting to be happy. And for me, it just didn't work. Now, if Multiverse of Madness was anything like the What If episode, it would have completely worked. It could have dealt with the multiverse, but at the end of the day, it was on a grounded level where the emotional drive of the film was about Doctor Strange himself. But the main driving force of this film was America Chavez, was Wanda losing her kids, and then Doctor Strange was just kind of thrown in there with his own story. Okay, quick side note here. I didn't really explain myself that well because this was my instant reaction, but since I've had time to really think this through a little bit more, I'm going to explain what I meant by this. So obviously, yes, it's a Doctor Strange movie, but what I felt is that all the emotional driving force for the film was really taken away from Stephen Strange. And yes, the multiverse was in there as well, but with the combined efforts of the multiverse and Wanda and America Chavez and all of these different stories clashing together, I felt it really did take away from Stephen Strange's story. And I mean, this is no fault of any of the other characters, but I feel like when you're dealing with stuff like the multiverse, you really have to tone back the things that you use. Once again, like I did say earlier in the video, No Way Home is a good example of this, only pulling in a few characters and solely focusing the movie around Tom Holland's Peter Parker, which it managed to do really well, even though the inclusion of all the multiverse stuff, the different villains, the different Peter Parkers, and even Doctor Strange himself still worked out in its favor. However, Multiverse of Madness introduced way too many characters and way too many side plots with different character arcs that it really just didn't mesh well. Like I said with Wanda and America Chavez as well, and then Stephen Strange trying to be happy, it kind of felt like that story was kind of just on the side burner. But yeah, that's what I meant by that. Back to the video. But like I did say, the action was really good. Mr. Fantastic, John Krasinski, the man that everyone has been wanting to be Mr. Fantastic. Let's go. The X-Men 90s theme played when Professor X rolled in. Patrick Stewart rolled in as Professor X. That was really cool. You know, there was multiple things that were just really like jaw-dropping in this film. The horror stuff with Wanda as well was really, really good. And I thought, you know, that was... You know, oh my god, I pooed myself sometimes. But yeah, this film was a mixed bag. I don't really know what to think about it. You know, it was okay, it was good, but it was, you know, they throwed stuff in places that just didn't need to go. Like I said, I think the multiverse stuff didn't really work with the emotional driven story they were trying to tell with Doctor Strange. But yeah, I don't really know what else to say about this movie. It was okay. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't, you know, it wasn't the worst thing ever. I think a lot of people will enjoy this movie purely for the action. Seeing Wanda go up against multiple other Marvel heroes was really cool. Obviously, seeing Wanda versus Mr. Fantastic going up against all these other Marvel heroes was something that I really like to see in this film. And you know, it delivered on that front. Like I said, the horror stuff was really cool as well. But once again, yeah, it was such a mixed bag for me in terms of the pacing, in terms of the amount of things that they were trying to cram in this film. I just didn't think it really worked. But with that being said, that is my review for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. If you've seen the film, if you haven't, and you've listened to my spoilers, well, fair play. Still go watch it. Go try and enjoy it. I enjoyed my time watching it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care and peace.